Howdy one and all, and welcome back. Ruckus here with some more Blitz action. Apologies for the recent downtime. It has been a while since my last video, but general Blitz motivation has been low recently. Today though, I do have something interesting for you. This is something of a mini review of one of the most iconic machines of World War II, and a tank that I had passed through by the time I started the YouTube channel. I think I was on the E75 when I first started making videos. So last month I repurchased it simply because I really wanted this machine in my garage. It is kind of the definition of the heavy tank of World War II. The Tiger H, which is this machine shown here, won a design competition against the Tiger P, you might recall from my Tiger P review video. It's a mid-war design. Production started in 1942 with just over 1,300 units produced before production was halted in favour of its successor, the Tiger II. 1,300 units sounds like a lot, but compared against the numbers of Allied M4 Shermans and T-34s, it was a pretty small drop in the ocean, and a big reason why this machine struggled to make the kind of impact that it could have on the battlefield. In 1942 though, the Panzerkampfwagen VI was definitely the pinnacle of tank design. This was a beautifully made machine and very effective in its role. It also earned itself a fearsome reputation amongst Allied crewmen, and that reputation has stuck with it over the years. And it's a big reason I think why people are often disappointed when they unlock the Tiger at Tier 7 in World of Tanks, and aren't able to ruffle stomp in it as much as they'd expected. But you have to put it into context. The machines this thing came up against in World War II, things like the M4 Sherman, the KB-1, the T-34, these are Tier 5 machines, and against these it does very, very, very well. Almost no competition. But it's not a Tier 5 machine itself. This thing sits at Tier 7, and against the other Tier 7 heavies has quite a more difficult time. The biggest complaint you often hear about the Tiger is in the armor, or the apparent lack thereof. It just doesn't feel like the heavy tank it's supposed to be at times. But against the other Tier 7 heavies, the whole armor isn't actually that bad. It's got 100mm up the front and 80 down the sides. The problem is that there is no sloping whatsoever. There's a little bit on the lower frontal plate, but not enough to make a difference, and it is a massive, boxy, fat shape. So newcomers will always play this thing in a way that makes it very easy to penetrate for even Tier 5 and Tier 6 vehicles. You drive it straight at your enemies, you present a flat shape and a flat surface for them to shoot, and most of the time they'll be able to punch right through. To get any kind of bouncing going on with the Tiger's armor, you need to always present it in a diamond shaped. Keep one corner of the front of the hull pointed towards your enemy, and use the decent mobility to keep yourself moving and present the most difficult target you can to your enemies. This comes as no surprise, I'm sure, to most of you out there who are now well familiar with the penetration mechanics of this game, but I think it is one of the biggest reasons for the dissatisfaction you often hear about the poor old Tiger. Now, the astute amongst you might have recognised by now that this particular Tiger doesn't look like anyone you've seen in Blitz to date, and that's because this one, Tiger 223, is a Ruckus special. I put this together using some material off the internet in response to some of the camos that the developers have been putting in Blitz recently that I have not been a fan of at all. They look terrible in my opinion. I don't want to see that. This is the kind of stuff I want to see, and I guess if you want something done right, you've got to do it yourself. Now, you notice that the camouflages are actually disabled on this machine. I've had to disable those because this isn't actually a camouflage file on top of the existing skin. This is a photoshopped skin itself. These details are painted on the vehicle skin, and having camouflage on top of that just looks funky, looks really bad. So this is the only Tiger I will see in my version of the game. But that's okay to me. I'm really happy with the way this turned out as a first attempt. I think it looks pretty good. The color scheme, yeah, it's a monotone color scheme, kind of aqua blue, but I think it's interesting enough due to the weathering effects on it. I think the back looks really good. How the exhaust is blackened and the paint flaking off around the back, and at the front where it's taken some fire. It's obviously got the kill markings on the barrel, some division numbers down the side, 223. The rhombus with the S in it on the front is a historical heavy tank marking for the Germans, and it's got Division logo on the side, that Mastodon. So I'm pretty happy with it. Came out really good, and I think it looks great in game in the right lighting conditions. And if I've got time, it always comes down to whether I've got time or not. This thing took me about a week to do, off and on. If I've got time, I'd really like to do some more mid-tier vehicles, the historical vehicles, in color schemes that they would have used at the time, and with the correct markings and that kind of thing. I'm definitely overdue to do another editor video, so when I finally get around to that, I will make Tiger 223 probably the basis of that video, how I went about doing it. So if you are interested, you can follow along. And if you do like this particular machine, I will add it to the next mod pack. You'll be able to find that in the description of this video. Alright, gameplay time. Kicking things off, the first of 2 mastery games actually, here on the new Rockfield, Tier 8 battle on Rockfield. Really like this new iteration of the map, very pretty, and with plenty of variation in gameplay. I guess there's 2 main tactics a team can employ. The most popular one at the moment seems to be go down this kind of low, hilly terrain, where the majority of my team is going. But you can also go up to the bunker, obviously, on the other side of the map, and which has a height advantage, allowing you to snipe better. But it seems to be that the teams generally head in this general direction at the moment anyway. The meta will probably change, just like it has on other maps in the future. So most of our team's gone this way. The meds anyway, with a few heavies dawdling on behind. And we have a T-34-85 Rudy, who is desperate to be the first one to die, employing classic premium tank owner tactics to drive straight into the front of the enemy and achieve very little besides spotting them. I guess he has done that. He's got their attention. We do now know where the entirety of the Reds team is, and that's given us a, I guess, an advantage, even though we have just lost that guy, obviously. So pumping rounds into the opposition's 223. There he goes. Sorry, buddy. And there is another one out there somewhere. Lots of Tiger 223s in this game. There he is. The Tiger doesn't make a bad hill fighter, really. That's surprising for a German vehicle, but it's got 7 degrees of gun depression. And the powder weight is okay for this kind of terrain anyway. You can shift around quite reasonably well. Back of this second Tiger. Not too sure what he's doing there, but he's taking a lot of damage already. Putting the long 88 to work. I do like this gun. It's accurate. The aim time is kind of slow, but it's reasonably accurate. The penetration is okay. I don't know, against the Soviet vehicles it really does struggle, but yeah, it's a pretty good gun all around. Alpha damage is quite low, but the rate of fire is fantastic. Enemy T-43 down. Panther here. I'm going to take a risk. Dive down on this guy. Use the auto aim. Bang. Right. IS-6. Try and angle the armor there. That was the correct angling, but that new, he's probably got the new IS-6 gun, which has more IS-3 like penetration, so easily able to go through, I think, at the side of the Tiger. He takes out our IS, so it's just me versus him versus whoever that is backing me up on the left. I think it's a Tiger 2. A few APCR rounds into his side. Swap back to AP for that killing blow on the rear of the deck, engine deck. And now there's a defender and an IS left. Looking at the IS, but I can't see him over the crest of that hill, so help out this Panzer 1C, who, yes, did just absorb a round through his tracks for no damage. I hang around there for a second shot on the defender, and his 5-second reload was enough to snap a quick one off at me before I could get back into cover. And then that IS appears. He's tracked, go for the snapshot, don't aim it long enough, and it somehow bounces off his sloped frontal armor. And now there's just the defender left, who's facing off against our Tiger 2. Defender's rushing in, and he looks like he's going to swap back to me at the last moment, so I'll hide behind the wreck of the Rudy. One more in him, and I probably will not reload in time. Panzer gets the kill. So Mastery, Top Gun, and the Sniper, with 3,500 damage done for 1200 XP, base XP, 18 shots, fired 18 connecting hits. How come that was counted as penetration on the IS? That was not a damaging hit. Mines for the second gameplay walkthrough and final match of today's episode. It's myself and Pimp Daddy in the Type 62 Dragon. And it's a tier 8 battle starting on the southern side. Pimp anticipating a tough fight for the hill. And yep, I think that's fairly accurate. It's just him and the T-44 versus enemy FCM, T-44, Panzer I and a Dragon. And I'm getting called out by the enemy IS-6, so even better news, the top tiers on the red side recognise me. It's never a good feeling. So I'm going to run wide here, try and pull up in my little sniping position in the back corner of the map as Pimp rushes up the side wall of the hill. But already 3 reds up there, the light tanks and the T-44. Soon to be followed by the FCM. There he is. Try and get a snapshot on him before he climbs the hill, but I think I bounced that. Pimp's getting rushed, unfortunately determined push here by the lights, and our tier 8s, who are almost all of them camping at the back of the map. Look at that. A Spear Panzer takes 600 damage jumping off the hill. That's helpful. But our tier 8 campers, KV4 sitting at the back, and no one can provide Pimp any supporting fire there, so we lose him, and that is only just the beginning of the bad news. Getting multiple bounces off the side of an FCM is never a good feeling. I don't know how this is happening. Pimp giving it to the KV4, who probably isn't smart enough to read. Again, FCM on the side. He pulls up just in time for my shot to hit his upper plate. And again, the bounce somehow. You wouldn't read about it. There's a hit as we lose our third team member, the IS going down to the T-44. Dragging out in the open somehow, not taking any hits. Our poor IS-6 is very much outgunned there. T-44 is rushing in. They've got a couple of cappers, T-29 and that IS-6. I'm able to sneak a few shots into the T-29 as we lose the IS-6. Slight reprieve as we get the T-44, and now the FCM is off the hill. The Dragon's out in the open, not expecting me to be down this way. There's an important kill. It's not looking good for our T-44, who does get taken out by the FCM. One more hit onto him before he slips away in a cover. And now we get rushed by the VK, who will probably spot me at this point. Still hidden up until now, yep. And there's the IS-6, he's off the hill. Trying to flank down below the KV-4. He would have seen me though. And he fires at the KV-4, and this is where I hit the adrenaline, hoping to get a couple of cheap shots on the IS-6 before he pulls into cover, but he slips straight through. And now it's just myself and the KV-4, who has proven himself to be not the greatest player with the tactics he's employed so far. But he's still somehow sitting on half his hit points though, so we'll see what happens here. I want to be able to flank by and try and hit the IS-6 before the Reds can regroup, take out the KV-4. So I swing wide, and I've caught him unawares. I get one through side with APCR. He pulls over the front to get a hit on me, but that allows me the second shot. T-29 gets a hit too. And the IS-6 was considering coming over, but he knows I'll easily beat his reload. That VK is almost as bad a player as the KV-4 by the looks of it. He's getting his ass kicked. I need that KV-4 to stay alive. So I take a risk here, take down the VK, reduce the number of guns. I do take a hit from the IS-6, leaving me on a one shot for him. Now it's 2v2. The IS-6 hoping to bait a shot, but it's hard to bait a shot when your enemy is using mouse and keyboard. And here I almost throw the game away as I pause to attempt to troll unknown star from UV in the IS-6, when suddenly T-29 appears. Panic, I can't figure out how to get out of type. Ugh. Take a hit, 31 hit points remaining. God damn it. if you're going to troll the opposition, you'd want to make sure you know exactly where your opponents are before you pause to do so. Almost threw away a mastery game. So I cannot afford to take any kind of damage now. The KV4, will he leave his sniping position? He looks like he's going to come off the hill. Yes, he's got the engine boost on. He's going to charge down and tackle the front of the T-29. Drive straight into him, take a hit for me, and then together we can easily punish this guy off. But now he's going wide for some reason. And I've lost sight of the T-29. Oh god, he's coming for me. What's the KV4 doing? Desperately calling for help. The team all giving it to him. Ring a ring of rosies around this rock. KV4 is still sitting there, hoping to get some long range supporting fire. And he's taking a shot. No connection. T-29 comes the other way, hoping to cut me off. Yes, I can see the KV4 moving. Oh, risky. Getting a sneaky shot in the T-29's butt. Where is he? Rescue me, KV4. What's he doing? Alright, here he comes. T-29 running out of options, trying to go wide. Who will get the first shot away? KV4 does, and it is a tracking shot. Unfortunate for the T-29. A second tracking shot for myself, and that is the win. Only just. So same results for this game, just about. Mastery, Top Gun and Sniper with 3.7k damage and 4 kills. And that is a wrap for today. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this look at the Panzerkampfwagen VI and Tiger 223 in particular. Thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you soon on the next one. Peace.